My mother was a Christian evangelist and my dad was a warlock. I grew up in two different settings. I grew up with my mother, who was an evangelist, as I mentioned, my grandmother, who taught me how to pray, and my great grandmother, who passed on. She planted churches. I also grew up around my aunt and my uncle. On any given Sunday, literally, I would go to church, and then my dad, who was in and out of my life, I would go to his house, and we literally lived in a trap house. Found out I had siblings, so I'm the oldest of four, and all of us would be, surrounded by pit bulls, people coming in and out the house, Hispanic cats who look like they don't have any soul in their eye, tattoos. So I figured they're either gang members, murderers, the plug, whatever. Found out I was around all of the above, seen kilos of cocaine with the scorpion stamp on it. I seen an altar in my dad's room, one of his rooms in the trap house, and I saw this black figure moving between two doors. And I said, yo, there's something here. He's like, oh yeah, he's here all the time. So when I tell you I grew up between two worlds, between dark and light, I really grew up between dark and light. My first out of body experience happened when I was 13 years old. I was sleeping and I felt something sitting on my chest, holding my eyelids down, body wise, but my spirit was someplace else. I was strapped to this table. I saw people starting to surround it. They looked friendly, like they were going to help me. The table started spinning. I saw fire in the background. The faces changed to something horrible, something otherworldly. They start pulling out weapons throughout all the ages to try and kill me. My body shaking in the dream vision, wherever I was. As I'm 13 years old when this is taking place, I'm thinking this is a dream, and my body's physically shaking. I'm feeling both places. But on this spinning table, I'm not dying. There's no blood. I'm going through horrible suffering. I shake so hard on my bed because I'm trying to wake up at this point, but there's something holding my eyes down. I shake so hard I fall off the bed, I wake up. That was the first time that I realized that I was blessed with a gift to see, and they were trying to hijack this gift to see. And that gift to see comes from God, but obviously the enemy was trying to hijack it because of ancestral things on my paternal side. So my dad being a drug dealer, physically, mentally abusive, emotionally abusive, psychotic, manic depressive, schizophrenic. My grandfather, he was a hustler and he also was a pimp. I remember going to his house and pouring out some Fruity Pebbles or some Lucky Charms, and there's a picture of a naked woman that falls out. And I'm like, yo, who is this? I'm a little kid. Like, who is this? He laughs. He's like, oh, that's Coco. Put her back in the box. Like, he just was a funny guy, but had some screws loose. And then also his grandmother was a witch. So I'll give you this story that he told me. He was on the farm down south, said, don't run in that field over there. So what does he do? He does what any kid does. He runs exactly in that field over there. And he clips his leg, and he discovers that his leg is, pardon if this is graphic, his leg is like split. So this part would be his leg, this part would be his ankle. Whatever it was an old rusty something, and it like split his foot to the point where he was limping, crying. It was blood everywhere. Apparently his grandmother was calm, spit in the dirt, made it into some mud, wrapped it, put mud on it, wrapped it, said some words and said, take it off tomorrow. Took it off tomorrow, healed. A demonic healing. So that level of witchcraft. And then I found out I had a grandfather, a great grandfather who was a Freemason. And for people who know, you know. People who don't know, Freemasonry pays homage to the devil. They might accept you in the beginning talking about Jesus, but as you rise in the ranks, eventually you're going to learn who they believe the architect of the world is. So Freemasonry is a generational stronghold that might give you prosperity now, but it generally costs you something later throughout generations. So on both sides, there was a war for my soul concerning gifts. I gave my life to Jesus around the age of 13 or so because I was having so many encounters. I was having weird dreams. I was suicidal. I used to cut myself. And I planned on killing myself one day. My mother, my grandmother, everybody was out of the house that I predominantly stayed in. And I put this butcher knife to my neck. I planned it out. I had a note written, everything. I'm in the kitchen. As soon as I'm about to like slit my neck, and pardon if this is graphic, as soon as I was about to slit my neck, I heard a loud voice say, "Don't do it." I've never heard that voice before. There was no one in the house. And I just dropped the butcher knife and I broke down and I sobbed. The first time I heard the voice of God, he literally, thank you, Jesus. He literally saved my life. Literally saved my life. And this God kept pursuing me. My mother, she was in the streets a little bit, ended up giving her life to Jesus, had to go to church, and that's how she ended up becoming an evangelist. I used to hate going. I was kind of the rebellious type. One of my old notebooks was found because I used to write spoken word and raps, and it was very graphic and dark. Went to a Lutheran school, so it was highly concerning. Ended up giving it to the pastor at the time at the church that my mother and I went to when I was younger, and he organized a group of men to read my words to me, and I just saw it break their heart, and it tore me apart as a kid. So I felt something shift. For the first time, I felt like an environment in my heart, not external in the sense of my mother and my grandmother not trying and doing their best, but in my heart, I felt something shift for the first time, like someone cut the lights on and didn't run. And I was told the gospel line by line in that moment. And then I gave my life to Jesus. And as soon as I opened my eyes, it felt like everything was brighter. All the colors were brighter. Like everything was brighter. And I got driven home in the pastor's limo. He dropped me off. So I felt like, okay, I went from darkness to light, and light got limos. That's tight. I'm a kid, whatever. I go in my room, big on history, and I see that the History Channel, shout out to the History Channel back in the day, because I used to be on point. The History Channel had a weekend marathon. I gave my life to Jesus, and I believe it was like roughly turning into the weekend. So like Thursday, Friday, Saturday type stuff. There was a weekend long marathon on the Bible, Christianity, the history of it, the book of Revelations, all of this. So I throw out all my tapes, all my CDs, all my notebooks, and I just binge the Bible. But there was a change when I turned 18. So I'll pause here. This is a part of my testimony. Stay tuned for part 2.